happy Tuesday morning, April 27, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. I'm Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and get this Tuesday off to a good start. So grab that good cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy this Tuesday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. So, let's get started. First up, let's begin with your news. First up, family of Andrew Brown Jr. views body camera footage of fatal shooting. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Back here at home tonight, and a state of emergency now in effect in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, after the deadly police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. Tonight, his family and lawyers say they were allowed to see just 20 seconds of police body camera footage today. Lawyers now say his hands were on the wheel and that he was shot in the back of the head. Authorities late today saying this whole incident was over in just 30 seconds. ABC's Victor Oquendo now from North Carolina.
Tonight, calls for transparency growing louder in the officer-involved killing of Andrew Brown Jr.
We only saw a snippet of the video.
The family and their legal counsel saying they saw just 20 seconds of one body camera video, although multiple sheriff's deputies were involved.
Let's be clear. This was an execution. Andrew Brown was in his driveway. Andrew had his hands on his steering wheel. They run up to his vehicle shooting.
It's like we against all odds in this world. My dad got executed just by trying to save his own life.
Following days of peaceful protests and demands for transparency, Elizabeth City is now under a state of emergency in anticipation of the video's public release. According to the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office, deputies and the local SWAT team were executing a search warrant at Brown's home Wednesday morning. In the application for the search warrant, authorities stating that they believe Brown was using his home to store, package, and distribute narcotics, and two vehicles to store, traffic, and distribute them. Brown's neighbor, Demetria Williams, claims he was driving away when deputies opened fire.
He's trying to get away, and they're actually shooting at him.
Authorities have yet to say what led to the shooting. The family's attorney saying the sheriff's office told him Brown was unarmed and that no drugs were found in his car or in the house at the time. The sheriff has urged patience during the investigation.
If any of my deputies broke any laws or violated any policies that come out through this investigation, they will be held accountable.
7 deputies have been placed on administrative leave. It's not clear if that number included the deputy who the sheriff has said killed Brown, a father of 7.
This is the youngest daughter of Andrew Brown. And it is my prayer that we can say to her that we as a community stood up united to demand justice against injustice.
What is it that the family wants most right now?
Transparency.
And Victor Oquendo with us tonight from Elizabeth City. And Victor, I know there's late word tonight also on the release of the body camera videos.
David, under North Carolina law, body camera video can only be released with a judge's approval. We just heard from the sheriff's office moments ago. They said that the county attorney has filed a motion in court to get the video released, but there's no word on when a judge might make a decision. There's no doubt tonight that the pressure is mounting on this small county. David?
All right, Victor, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. CDC expected to release new guidance for masks outdoors. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Shopping with Google helps you find whatever you're looking for, like workout shirts or at-home apps.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us as we start another week together. And we begin tonight with the coronavirus in the U.S. and the hope that we just might turn one more corner. The CDC is now expected to release updated guidelines on masks outdoors for those who are fully vaccinated, with a renewed push to get to Americans who have not been vaccinated yet, and those who have skipped their second doses of Pfizer or Moderna. With his 100-day benchmark approaching, President Biden is expected to reveal those new CDC mask guidelines tomorrow. Dr. Anthony Fauci now saying the outdoor risk for fully vaccinated people is, quote, quite low. Tonight, at least 48 states now resuming that one-shot vaccine from Johnson & Johnson. The CDC confirming tonight that they believe more than 5 million Americans might have now passed that 6-week window to get their second shot of Pfizer or Moderna. They urge Americans to get that second dose. Nearly 140 million people in the U.S. now receiving at least one dose of vaccine. That's nearly 54% of adults in this country now. ABC's Eva Pilgrim leading us off tonight.
Tonight, with nearly 96 million Americans fully vaccinated and spending more time outdoors, the CDC expected to release new guidance for masks outside.
I think it's pretty common sense now that outdoor risk is really, really quite low, particularly if you are a vaccinated person wearing a mask outdoors. I mean, obviously the risk is minuscule.
One study showing less than 10% of COVID infections occurred outside. From Rhode Island to Nashville, officials starting to lift outdoor mask rules.
I think everyone's kind of ready for this. We're getting back to normalcy.
It comes as vaccination sites are once again offering the Johnson & Johnson shot after that 11-day pause. The CDC found out that of the 8 million doses given, 15 women suffered blood clots, concluding the vaccine's benefits outweigh the risks. And doctors in California are reporting the case of a man in his 30s now recovering from a clot in his leg. He earlier received the J&J shot. The CDC has not confirmed any connection. The FDA adding a new warning about the risk of extremely rare blood clots.
I would have taken whatever they were giving.
The risk is obviously super low. So, yeah, I would get it.
But a new ABC News poll taken during that vaccine pause revealed lower trust in the vaccine. Less than half of Americans see the Johnson & Johnson vaccine as safe. 73% of those not yet vaccinated say they wouldn't take a J&J shot.
They pulled it off and they put it back and they pulled it off. But that's the reason I didn't want a Johnson & Johnson.
And the CDC now reporting more than 5 million people may have missed the recommended time frame for their second dose of the other two vaccines. Zvi Shalom is holding off on his second dose, saying he still has a headache that started after the first Moderna dose.
It didn't make sense at this point to get a second dose, obviously, until the symptoms resolved.
With the daily vaccinations dropping to an average 2.75 million shots, the challenge ahead is how to counter overall vaccine hesitancy. Nearly 24% of Americans aren't inclined to get any COVID vaccine. In West Virginia, the governor today offering a $100 savings bond to 16 to 35-year-olds willing to get a vaccine.
I'm telling you, it's time, West Virginia, to shut this thing down.
All right, let's bring in Eva Pilgrim back with us tonight. And Eva, back to this updated guidance on masks expected to come anymore and what we are likely to hear.
Well, David, people are hoping to see a breakdown, a roadmap that breaks down those really big questions as far as masking, especially as it pertains to vaccination status and how far do we need to social distance outside without masks on. David?
All right, we'll be watching tomorrow. Eva Pilgrim leading us off tonight. Thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Justice Department investigates Louisville Metro Police Department. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Attorney General Merrick Garland today announced a federal investigation into the Louisville Police Department over their handling of the Breonna Taylor case more than a year after her shooting death by police who raided her home. Let's now bring in ABC's Rachel Scott in Washington. Rachel, what will the Justice Department be investigating in Louisville?
Well, Lindsay, tonight we are learning that this is going to be a sweeping investigation, really looking into all aspects and avenues of the police department, from training to use of force to even looking into those search warrants, the same type of search warrant that was used in that police raid that ultimately ended in the death of Breonna Taylor. She was shot and killed by officers in March of last year, and obviously her death prompted national outrage. But tonight, everyone seems to be on board and supporting the Justice Department investigating the Louisville Police Department. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said that he supports them looking into it. He said certainly not inappropriate. And even the police department itself, the chief saying today that they believe that this is a critical step to restoring the trust with the community, Lindsay.
And this, of course, comes on the heels of a similar investigation of the Minneapolis Police Department announced a day after that guilty verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial. Is the Justice Department signaling that they plan to step up these pattern or practice investigations?
Yeah, Lindsay, they are, and it's really striking. This is the second investigation launched in just 1 week by Attorney General Merrick Garland, and this is a clear shift from the Trump administration. 2 investigations in just 5 days under the Trump administration over the course of 4 years. Only 1 investigation like this was launched. A very clear shift and a very clear signal coming from the Biden administration and the Justice Department tonight, Lindsay.
Rachel Scott, our thanks to you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into weather. And here's a look at the weather across the United States for this Tuesday. As you can see, over here you're seeing some rain, and over here some rain and some snow and mixing as well into the Canada area. Then there's some rain showers along here and some snow showers as well. And that is a look at your weather across the United States. Otherwise, the rest of the United States is fairly dry. And that is a look at your weather across the United States for this Tuesday. And we are going to switch gears now. And now we're going to talk about working moms feel the stress of burnout as they try to manage the home and the workplace. Let's take a look at that video right now from ABC News. Good Morning America.
A look at how women are feeling extra stressed during the pandemic, trying to balance the additional demands at home with the extra responsibilities at work. ABC's Deirdre Bolton has more.
You know, that feeling that you have to keep going no matter what, that it's all on your shoulders. It's something that we're taught as women.
This week, a Grey's Anatomy episode highlighted the importance of rest and self-care.
Rest is not a dirty word. Rest is not laziness, no matter what you're told.
This morning, as the pandemic continues to blur the lines of office life and home life, more American women are leaving the workforce. In fact, at the highest rate in more than 30 years. And the definition of burnout is in focus.
There were days where I felt like there was not enough time in the day for me to meet the needs of my children and my own needs and my professional needs. It's taking a toll on my marriage. It's taking a toll on my relationship with both of my daughters.
More than 2 million American women have left the workforce since the start of the pandemic. And in the corporate world alone, more than 1 in 4 women is contemplating downshifting or leaving the workforce entirely. Experts say this year stands out for the wrong reasons.
Lack of schools, lack of childcare and daycare, elder care responsibilities, all of that's gone up in this moment.
For Anna White, she made a career-changing decision, leaving her high-level job in finance.
You're going from Zoom to Zoom to Zoom, and then you're going straight into household duties.
Some business leaders say the situation is so dire, broad sweeping legislation is the only answer. To make a full economic recovery, America needs all of its workers back on the job, male and female.
I was just kind of burned out after many years of the corporate grind.
Dr. Latchman rejects the term burnout because she says it misrepresents who's responsible.
It puts the blame, it puts the onus of change on the individual, and I think that's really problematic.
Dr. Latchman shares this advice: delegate.
I know that it's more mental work and it would be so much easier for you to just try and do everything by yourself. But we all know that that's not a sustainable solution. In the beginning, it feels harder to do that, but in the long run, it pays off because then it's not all on your shoulders.
Dr. Latchman also suggests starting the conversation with your doctor about your mental health. And she also gave me this reference to share, psychologytoday.com. It has a list of providers nationally. Dan?
Such an important story. Such an important story. We're seeing so many people suffering during this pandemic.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's take a look now at your National Day calendar for Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. Today is National Babe Ruth Day. National Devil Dog Day. I love devil dogs. National Prime Rib Day. One of my favorites. Yummy, yummy. Let's have some prime rib now, everyone. And National Tell a Story Day. Very cool indeed. And that is a look at your National Day calendar for this Tuesday. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into some entertainment news. In entertainment news, DMX's family and celebrity friends remember the rapper during memorial service. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me. My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower. But that's not catchy. So I thought, 15 minutes, 15%. Serendipity.
Geico. Friends and family pay tribute to the late, great DMX.
He will rest in power, rest in love, but most of all, he will rest in peace.
E.T. has learned that Beyonce and Jay-Z were among the thousands of mourners bidding their final farewell to the late rapper at Saturday's memorial service. DMX's music played as his red casket made its way to Barclays Center atop a custom monster truck. A source tells E.T. Kanye West produced the event with his Yeezy team. His Sunday service choir performed.
Keep on moving, don't stop, no.
Kanye also enlisted the help of designer Balenciaga to create a $200 tribute shirt. It sold out in 24 hours and raised $1 million for DMX's family.
Our father is an icon.
The funeral service was attended by Alicia Keys and included heartbreaking remembrances by his family and 7 of his 15 children.
I wish things were different and that he could see me graduate college.
I wanted him to see me graduate high school.
I'll be 10 next month, and it makes me sad that my dad will never be able to sing or say happy birthday to me ever again.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That does it for this Tuesday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this Tuesday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Tuesday and see you back here later on today with more news coverage. Goodbye, everyone.